This is the most important tip that I discovered after playing this boss for 10 hours. The absolute most important tip. You can actually manually extend the day's window. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome one and all. For today's content, you are not looking at a tourist name, not even a tour guide. Because after attempting this but a big ass boss for at least 10 hours on screen and off on stream and off stream, I present to you guys on how I destroyed Zenless Zone Zero's most difficult boss fight. Sacrifice Bringer at 60,000 max score with 7 seconds to spare. So I'll go through with you guys the run and what learning experience I got out from slaving at this boss for pretty much 10 hours. The team I use is gonna be Spirit Break. They still haven't patched this Yi-Xuanze, so I'm waiting for Zenless Zone Zero to patch this one day. Spirit Break, absolute best buff, whatever it is. Just don't think about it, just run a great one. Rina, Yanagi, and Mibaba with the FBI Bangbu. I'm not gonna do this live again because this run, everything was perfect, right? But luckily for us, by the power of internet and 2024, I have the run right here. I quite literally labeled it as the run.
胜为上。 作为6克的敌人，要付出代价的其实
So welcome back from watching the full run. So in case you guys missed out any of the stuff, I will essentially be kind of breaking down the run bit by bit so that maybe you guys can kind of utilize this to your own mechanics, right? Okay, this team, I would say, it is not the only team that can destroy Bringer, as in 60,000 full clear. But I believe that Miyabi is non-negotiable. And I believe that I think Yanagi might also be non-negotiable. Maybe a little bit negotiable if you run a Bernice, right? I have yet to see a single Bernice, quote-unquote, zero. This is basically the definition of a zero cycle, right? This is quite literally the definition of a zero cycle in Zenless Zone Zero, where you literally kill the boss, right? So that is a zero cycle definition. I think Miyabi and Yanagi is almost non-negotiable. The Rina slot, it is kind of negotiable. You can run Rina, you can run Lucy, you can run Seth, you can potentially run Nicole, though it's to each their own, right? The general thought process of this run is to basically abuse the disorder, right? Abuse the disorder, get your stacks, and let Miyabi gain as many Fallen Frauds to let go of EB3 as much as possible. And I feel that this mode, it really helps to showcase the difference between running a normal, or rather a quote-unquote optimal Miyabi with Yanagi compared to a less optimal team with Miyabi, which is the the hyper carry team, right? Running her with a lighter Lucy, running her with a mono ice team. Not to say that they are bad, because they are definitely not bad, but because previously in shield defense critical node, you can't really feel the difference because everything just dies within like 10 seconds, 5 seconds margin of error. But when you have a boss like Bringer, which literally bro has 30 health bars, because the fight is so dragged out, you can definitely feel the impact. Get it? The impact of running the hyper carry impact team or the anomaly disorder team, right? So I will start to go into the run right now. And okay, I'll play this in slow-mo, so it might be a little bit easier to see. Opening up with Rina's EX skill, except you don't need her EX skill, right? You don't need her EX skill, because as long as you use Rina's skill, even without EX, she will send out her bang boost, and you will still get the pen ratio buff, right? So very, very important tip when you're using Rina. So the moment you send her out, I ran into Yanagi to squeeze in a little bit more auto attack there. I'm just squeezing a little bit more sneaky base attack for a little bit more energy, a little bit more shock anomaly, and then I parry with Miyabi instantly. So within the first 1 second, I'm already rotating in all 3 characters to get them all up at the field at the same time. And over time, you'll notice that quick swapping with this team is non-negotiable. You have the quick swap a lot, because what happens with Bringer, this boss specifically, is that if you don't chain stun him, he will go into Zahando, right? He will summon the hand, and it is a huge store. It is basically like, I think it's like an 8 second to 10 second store where you basically can't deal any damage. You have to kill the hand and then it's gonna come out. It is very, very bad, right? So you have to chain stun him as frequently as humanly possible, which you can see later from the run itself. But we're gonna be pairing with this Miyabi going into enhanced base attack 3 instantly because, oh my goodness, it's gonna be an M2. But I would say M0S1 Miyabi is definitely still doable because we did manage to get this run with 7 seconds remaining. And there has already been clears of people running a E0 Miyabi, so definitely doable, but we're just going to be showcasing my run over here. And I'm going to keep it a buck. It was not easy. It was genuinely not easy because the rotations had almost zero room for errors. Because if you were to miss out even by like half or like 1 second, he will go into the hand mode and you're cooked, buddy, right? So first thing, we don't swap out of Miyabi in the very, very first EBA tree. You want to keep her on field and build up this Frost anomaly, right? So you want to build on this Frost anomaly as much as possible, or rather the Frost burn anomaly. So I'm just using my skill, using my whatever it is, pop on the EX, activate Frostburn. I stay a little bit longer to stack on a little bit more Frostburn, and then you start to quick swap. So this will be my first rotation at around the 2-minute 47-second mark. I will start to quick swap into a Rina, and Rina will use a skill into a Yanagi. So the moment I use a skill, you instantly quick swap to Yanagi, and you will want to open with Yanagi's skill here, because bro has the Frostburn, right? So triggering Yanagi's skill here will give us the additional 2 stacks required to bring us from 5 stacks to 6 stacks. This additional 1 stack is because of the M2, but if you're at M0, it doesn't change, right? Because it's basically 2 stacks, right? Note, do not trigger this electric shock. Because if you were to trigger this electric shock, it's gonna waste 2 stacks. So you actually want to instantly swap back into Miyabi so that this thing still stays there, right? So this thing will start to charge level 3. And then, this is where I will start to not quick swap so much, because I want to generate more stacks with Miyabi by herself first, before we rely on Rina and Yanagi. Alright, so more on the reliance on herself, just activate a little bit more skills, a little bit more basic. But of course, this is gonna be instantly swapped back out the moment we pop on this. So the moment we get 6 stacks here, we'll swap out. The reason why we don't want to swap out so fast is because Bringer actually doesn't change into his first hand mode until around the 2-minute 15, 2-minute mark, right? So in the earlier game, it's not that important to swap back. Now we will need to swap back, so we're just going to use the skill, and then we trigger the electric shock from just now into another EX skill, giving us a instant stack again, right? So it will give us an instant 4 stacks, and an EX skill here, 6 stacks, EBA 3, and I activate the Frost Disorder right there. So boom, 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 boom. Fast forward. When she jumps up, I'm not sure if you guys. Oh, how do I go back? When she jumps up over here, you can already quick swap. So the moment Yanagi flies up with this, you should instantly quick swap, and both of them will be on field at the same time. So I instantly quick swap into Miyabi out. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada bang. Huge amounts of Frostburn anomaly being built up. And we pop this into a skill. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Get 1 more stack. EBA 3 flies out. And then we continue with the quick swap. You notice how I am always quick swapping into Rina? Some players might be able to optimize this a little bit more, because your Rina technically doesn't need to be on the field if your buff is still up. So this little Pangbu buff you see over here, if the buff is still up here, you don't really need Rina. So you could min-max this even more by just swapping into Yanagi directly, right? But I was kind of like in the zone where it's always like swap into Rina, swap into Yanagi, swap into Rina, swap into Yanagi. So my muscle memory just made me keep doing this rotation. I would rather just have a little bit of overflow on Rina's pen buff than having a pen buff downtime, right? So that is going to be that. Go back into Yanagi, activate her ultimate first, because you can see over here, the electro buff is just triggered. We just triggered the shock anomaly, so activating the ultimate here will have the highest value. Oh my god. They will have the highest value because the electric anomaly starts from 0, right? Which is also a point that we brought up from after Miyabi. You don't want to waste your ultimate anomaly bar. You want to use them when your electric attribute is close to 0. So we get the full value out of this. Then we can activate our EX skill, trigger in disorder, pop this, bop, bop, bop. And then we'll activate Rina's ultimate here. So from this point onwards, you need to chain stun him. If you do not chain stun Bringer at this point, he will start summoning the hand. So you have to break him before he summons the hand. So that will be your very, very first rotation check. If you failed your rotation at any point from this point, he will summon hand and the run is basically over, right? So this is your first rotation check to make sure that he's stunned before he summons the hand. So we pop a Rina into a Yanagi, get another EX skill, and then we can pop this skill over here, and we break him. This is the most important tip that I discovered after playing this boss for 10 hours. The absolute most important tip. So the important thing here is you can actually manually extend the days window. So what I mean by manually extend is, generally speaking, if you use a normal chain attack, it will be unit 1, unit 2, unit 2, Bangbu, unit 3. So it will happen very rapidly, and by the time your unit 3 is done, the days window will start to shrink. You can actually manually extend this by cancelling out. So you can see that bro will be in this day stage the entire time because you cancel out. So I'm going to do an EBA tree here and then use our normal Kara cancel, swap back. And you can see that this will be the original value in which the bar will be going down, right? But because we manually cancel out, if I were to finish off Yanagi, we'll refresh another days window right here. So we are basically cheating out like a lot of days windows to greatly extend the time we get the 150% stun multiplier. And this was huge. This was game changing. This changed my life because the moment I discovered how to do this, I gave it like I think 2 or 3 more runs, and then I finally got this run right here, right? So this was the most important tip that I've learned on top of everything else that we have talked about, right? Which is the checking out the anomaly bar, checking out your swap back, don't waste your ultimate, don't waste your everything. So this was advanced shit. And then once again we pop this over here, we get to let go manually, and we can add on another stack right here. So at this point, it is basically the most you can do, right? This is gonna be basically the most you can do. But because we extended our bar for so long, we squeezed in a lot of base attack trees here. So by this point, when we let go of this base attack tree, you can see that bro is gonna be close to 11 bars, almost 10 bars within the very first break. So at this point is your next challenge. You have 1 minute 42 seconds, roughly 11 bar, maybe 10 bars. You have to perma chain stun him. This was the next most important shit. From this point on, you must make sure to chain all of your ultimates every single time with Miyabi's basic attack tree. The only other move that can cancel Bringer out, or rather of your hand state, is Miyabi's BA tree and your ultimates. So if you do not chain up your ultimates, he's gonna go into the hand mode again. So what I did here is basically continuously chain stunning him the entire time, and only close to when bro's thing is about to expire and is about to be, see, he's about to recover, right? This is basically he's about to recover. You want to instantly cast the ultimate right here to cancel that recovery animation before he summons the hand. So we start off with a Miyabi out, get a couple more stacks, and then we're able to get the level 3 right here from a Frostburn. Boom, swap back, and then before bro recovers from your level 3, you activate Rina's ultimate. So you can see I didn't use Rina's ultimate instantly because, okay, number 1, I want to make this animation to be over so I can get a little bit more stacks. And number 2, he hasn't recovered yet, right? The moment he's close recovery, then you use Yanagi's ultimate to chain stun him even further. And at this point, you can see my Rina's ultimate is almost up. And this will give us another 2 more stacks because of the disorder proc. And we activate EX skill. Level 3. And then he's chain stun again. Right? And then he's chain stun again. We continue the rotation. Boom, 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 boom. Activate disorder. Bam. And then at this point, pause. You fly up. Thank God we had the Frostburn. Because Frostburn also helps us to keep him in place. If we did not have the Frostburn here, he will start transforming. But since we do have the Frostburn, it actually kept him in place at this very, very critical juncture. You can see we got a ridiculous amount of Fallen Frost X. And at this point, we are basically chilling because Rina would have gotten her ultimate. So I'm just going to continue attacking right here. Get one more stack, Hail E2, pull E2 right now. And then boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to chain him right there. Rina flies in. So from this point onwards, we are basically out. We ran out of energy. We ran out of mana. We are not able to chain stun him anymore. And he would go into the hand. It is a little bit too slow at this point. It is a little bit too slow. Unless I break him right here. Oh my god. Okay, I take it back. I broke him again. So I managed to freeze him again. But when he recovers here, it is basically almost it. After this one, yep. After this one, I think he recovers here. I was a little bit off. Yep, okay, yeah, it's too slow. So at this was the as long as I could hold him. So I delayed the hand phase all the way to the 55th second. Some people might consider running Anomaly Mastery on Miyabi. But if you were to run Anomaly Mastery, it means that your entire rotation will be very, very different. Just like how if you were to run a Yanagi signature weapon, your entire disorder rotation will be very, very different because you get additional Anomaly build up, right? I don't have Yanagi's signature weapon because it's relatable. So my rotation is also going to be a little bit different for those who have the signature weapon, right? Just like how if I have an M2 or no M2, everything will change, right? So this is really depending on what your account has as well as how you basically pilot them, right? So I cannot stop him here. It is what it is. So he's going to start charging up the hand. And you can see that it is a huge time sink from the moment he spawns. So we can still do damage over here. Okay, 49 seconds, right? Roughly 50-ish, 49 seconds. You have to run. He's invincible. 46, 45, 44. You have two options to get him out of the hand stage as fast as possible. Either with one basic attack tree or triggering an anomaly disorder. Either of these ways can let him get out of the hand stage. I found that using the disorder proc helps me deal more damage instead of using the base attack tree after testing this for like 10 hours. So I like to just save up my 6 stacks and then just use base attack. So I've triggered my Frostburn here. I was a little bit inting. I should have instantly swapped to Yanagi there. I don't know why I didn't swap back. So that was a pretty sizable mistake because it kind of wasted like 2 or 3 seconds there. So I should have instantly swapped to Yanagi and just started base attacking, right? I didn't have the energy to proc disorder, so I can only rely on base attack. But and the moment I proc the disorder right here, he'll be knocked out, right? So bro comes down, swap to your Miyabi, level 3, bada boom, quick swap, and then bro is gonna be broken. But I want to squeeze in as many of the quick swap, as many of the bars as possible, so that if I were to use a Yanagi EX skill to trigger the daze, I just squeeze in 2 more stacks, right? So I use EX skill, 2 more stacks. And then I change out by using her ultimate. Okay, count the number of times we squeeze in Miyabi's EBA 3 and ultimate. So this is going to be 1 ultimate. Prop this disorder, this freeze. Cancel out. So if you were to not cancel out of this here and you go into chain attacks, you will be wasting that 6 stacks. So you manually cancel so that you can do your EBA 3, continue resuming your rotations. You can cast your ultimate, it's free damage, just run it down. And then he gets stunned again. Use a cancel so that your Yanagi stays on field. You want to use Yanagi's EX skill to give you another 2 more stacks, right? You want to cancel out 2 more stacks, swap into Miyabi, and then you let go of this level 3. So that's going to be our second level 3, right? That's going to be our second level 3. And right before... Ooh, Okay, if you had a little bit of a better gaming moment over there, you could squeeze in a third level 3 because we had quite a bit of energy here. But at this point, the run was basically over because he only has 1 bar remaining at 15 seconds left. So at this point, the run was basically over. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. Level 3, boom, boom, boom. And then we finish off right here. Let me play for the normal speed. And there it is. My journey of killing, sacrificial bringer. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. The entire time, 7 seconds remaining, 1 hand face. And I think there was almost no room for error. The only time I kind of made an error was during the hand phase. I should have sold to Yanagi a little bit faster so we can trigger it maybe at 2 seconds faster, but that was the biggest mistake I made. Almost no stacks wasted, chaining all of ultimates, logging in place, and I'm going to show my gears real quick to see the rotations. Bada boom. This is going to be a gear. Bada boom. Very nice. Very relatable, if I can say so myself. Very good. This is going to be Rina. 4-piece anomaly, 2-piece pen ratio. The skill and ultimate honestly changes nothing at all. Then Yanagi is going to be 419, blah, blah, blah. Running Grace Ninja Engine M0S0 with the 4-piece Chaos Jazz, right? Then this is going to be main stats. ER, pen ratio, anomaly proficiency, Rina. Anomaly mastery, I believe that was attack, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, anomaly mastery. Oh, pen ratio as well, because we're running Grace, and then anomaly proficiency. And then Mibaba is going to be... And then Mibaba is going to be attack percentage, and crit damage. So that is the journey of bringing down the Bringer Boss. Important thing to know, I think, is or rather the takeaway that I'm gonna kind of be getting out of this entire experience. I think this mode, it will elicit 2 different general responses. On one camp, people might think that it's a HP sponge, bro has stall mechanics, it's not fun, it's a unit check, it's a miyabi check, it is basically a whale's toy. Nobody should even be thinking about this. So it's not good. It is what I'm getting. I think there's one camp. Another camp is basically making use of your team and using this guy as almost like a training dummy to improve your own team's rotations. And I feel that this kind of boss fights, they are very... It forces you to be proactive. So I've kind of mentioned this in my previous content as well. Or if I were to compare this with, like, for example, a Wuthering Waves hologram boss fight. Or if I were to even compare this with Zenless Zone Zero Battle Tower. The boss forces you to be very reactionary. You need to react to the boss movesets because they are extremely aggressive. You're not really on a timer. You just need to survive. Alright? The name of the game is to survive, know the boss movesets, and then dodge and parry and then play accordingly. Whereas for this boss, it is very proactive on the player. The boss basically didn't move a single time throughout the entire fight. But you need to basically nail your rotation down to the almost perfect to achieve the absolute highest caliber of clear, which is going to conquer the 0 cycle. And of course, because I am not him, I'm not Faker or whatever, and you know, it is what it is. Hail Dawei for giving us an M2. I wouldn't say I am the absolute best as well, because there has been clears done using an M0S1 miyabi. So it is actually possible. It is not just a strictly M2 thing. M0S1 has been done, but it is also gonna be testing that player's skill with their M0 miyabi and whatever team they're running. And it really depends on what you enjoy in the game. I find this very, very... I can't even believe I'm saying it. I find this very fun because, ironically or unironically, it forced me to know a lot of Zenless Zone Zero's mechanics. It forced me as a tourist. I've been basically a tourist for this game for like a couple of months, ever since. We've been quite logged in for version 1, right? Then I think I have version 1.2. I went to US, I went to Tactone, Caesar, all that. I didn't really get logged into the game anymore, and then we basically became like a Honkai Starbucks main again. This game mode, it really forced me to go back and learn everything again. learn about your anomaly build up, learn about your animation cancels, learn about when to use the ultimate, when to use your EX skill, learn about your parries, learn about... I feel it's quite good for me because it made me feel more connected with the game. But that's me. And I know ain't nobody got the time to fucking spend 10 hours, or maybe I'm just bad at this game, to spend 10 hours trying to get the kill. And it's not even needed, by the way. It is not even needed because all you need for this game mode is 20,000 points. If you have 20,000 points, you get a 3-star. I am really just doing this purely for the sake of enjoyment because I actually find it really, really fun. And I have very rarely, if ever, played a game this much off stream, aside from maybe Path of Exile and League of Legends, right? So it really made me like sit down and holy shit, I need to do this. I need to kill this boss because otherwise I cannot move on with my life, right? I have been trying to work on this Zenless Zone Zero beginner guide for so long and I just couldn't even bring myself to work on the beginner guide until I beat this boss, which I did yesterday at roughly 3:58 AM. At 3:58 AM, after grinding this boss for, I know God knows how long, looking at my literal replays. After I failed the run, I would look at my replays and learn what rotations did I miss. Did I miss my Rina buff? Did I miss my disorder? Did I waste my follow? I literally had to go back. I was doing screams, like going through a league replay, and finally at 3:58 AM. Oh my god, it was the heaviest moment of my life, bro. I was so goddamn heavy. But yeah, this mode, I'm happy to say, I think I'm good for a while, right? I think I'm good for a while. It'll be up to you guys if you're interested in, you know, all this kind of stuff, but I think it was very, very fun for me personally. We have come to the end of today's content on how I destroyed the most difficult boss in Zenless Zone Zero. Word of the day is going to be hand. Oh my god, such an anticlimactic word. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter, all those. See you guys next time. Take care.